All right. Today we are going to talk about um, volume of a rectangular prism. Remember, you can also, this is the same as a cube. Um, but volume is basically the amount of space, three-dimensional space, that a 3D shape takes up, right? So you could think about it as how much space it takes up. You could also think about if you were to fill it up with water, how much water it would, how much water would fit in something. So that's another way to think about volume. But the formula for volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. Um, and since we are multiplying, it doesn't matter what order you multiply these three numbers in, right? Uh, so let's say the length is 4, the height is 2, and the width, like how far it goes back um, into the page, you could think about, is 3. Uh, so what we can do here is we can multiply um, these two together. 4 times 3 equals 12. And then times the height would be 2, which equals 24. 12 times 2 equals 24. Or we could do 2 times 4 equals 8 times 3 equals 24. Or we could do 2 times 3, which is 6, times 4 equals 24. I believe this is the commutative property of both multiplication and it also works for addition, right? If you were adding three numbers, doesn't matter what order it is. So just keep that in mind. If sometimes it can be easier, especially when these numbers get bigger, it can be easier to multiply the numbers in a certain order. Um, but it doesn't really matter because as long as you multiply them correctly, you will get the same answer. Um, Also, when you are doing volume, just like when you are doing let's say that these are inches, okay? Just like when you are doing area and it's the answer is squared, right? So if we were just doing a two-dimensional, it would be 24 inches, and then you would um, put a 2 here. But when we are doing volume, we actually put a 3 there, and it's called 24 inches cubed, right? So that's because it's basically what they're saying is 24-inch cubes could fit in this rectangular prism. If I had exactly 24 um, inch cubes, they would be able to fit um, fit into this rectangular prism. That's how many cubes, um, 24-inch cubes, this would hold. Um, so that is basically a pretty general overview of volume and how to find volume. It gets a little more complicated once you start um, having multiple, kind of finding uh, volume of multiple, uh, shapes that have multiple cubes in them or multiple rectangular prisms. And things of that nature, which we will get to in future videos. But this is just a pretty good basic overview of how to find volume of a rectangular prism.